Test, test. Welcome to the CIU Sports Network for this final series of CIU baseball as they take on Point University in what will be a very important series for the Rams. Opportunity to get into the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament for the second consecutive year. I'm Gordy Frierson, joined by Corbett Callett. Corbett, Rams only need to win one of these games in this series, and they will solidify the 10th spot in the AAC tournament as Union lost twice to Montreat earlier today. How do you think Coach JJ maybe has encouraged these guys coming into this game one?
Well, they can't just focus on, knowing that they can win one of these three games out of the series. They're about to play Point, who's ranked 4th in the conference right now. So none of these games are going to be easy. So they should not overlook Point. Excuse me.
Yeah, this series having a little bit of a different feel than it had last year when these two teams played. Both of these teams last year were battling for one of those upper echelon spots in the AAC tournament. This year, obviously, CIU just trying to get in, and Point with a little bit better year than the Rams. Corbett, Justin Parrish starting on the mound for CIU. Parrish, a senior. This is his final series at home as a CIU Ram, and has been the leader of that pitching staff all 3 years of his time with CIU. Can you tell us a little bit about his numbers that he has had so far this season?
Well, coming into this game, this is exactly who you want on the mound when you have a must-win game in the series, and you're really hoping that you can take one today because he is by far the best pitcher on this team. He has pitched 84 innings so far throughout the season through 13 appearances. His ERA is a 3.75, and he has 80 strikeouts on the year.
Yeah, Parrish, a guy that has been the game one starter since he was a sophomore here at CIU, as there is the strike there against, this is Dylan Brown, the senior from Gulfport, Mississippi, who will be the leadoff man for Point. Brown listed at 5'7", and he certainly has a very small strike zone. And Parrish will sit down Brown on that first on that first series with the strikeout.
That's definitely a way to get momentum on your side early on in the game. His batting average going up before that at-bat was .331, and he'd only been struck out 20 times so far this season.
So a good start for Parrish. That'll bring up Connor Varnum, freshman out of Laurel Hill, Florida, to the plate now for the Skyhawks. Going back to that AAC scenario a little bit, it's Montreat in the 9th spot, CIU in the 10th spot, Union in the 11th spot. Kicker is Union owns the tiebreaker over CIU, but CIU owns the tiebreaker over Montreat. So with the 2 wins by Montreat earlier today against Union, that solidifies their spot in the conference tournament. And then Union with 8 wins, Rams with 9 wins. If they win 1 and CIU doesn't win any, then they're in because they own the tiebreaker over CIU. But if CIU wins 1 and Union wins 1, the Rams are in because they'll have a better record. So things getting a little bit confusing as we move towards the end of the year here, as Parrish walked Varnum there. This is Jacoby Smith, who is at bat now for Point. Smith, a senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. Parrish checking on Varnum over there at first. 0-1 as that gets away from Hernandez. Varnum will get to second. So that pitch unable to be handled by Hernandez behind the plate, and runner advances to second base. One out here in the first inning. That is fouled off. And Parrish, 1-2 count. That one in the dirt. As that'll even the count at 2-2. Corbett, give us a little bit of how Jacoby Smith has played this year. Smith obviously been a big contributor for Point the last few years. What's he looking like in the 2022 season?
So far, through 132 at-bats, his batting average is a .311 with 45 strikeouts and about 7 home runs. So he's leading the team. He's actually tied for second in home runs, and his RBIs are leading the team with 34.
Yeah, Jacoby Smith, a guy that has been impressive in his time in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, but Parrish will get the second out as runner on second, CIU with an opportunity to close out this first inning without giving up any runs. As here is the pitch, just a little low for ball one against Jackson Bush. Bush, the junior from Theodore, Alabama. So this is an experienced team, already 2 seniors and a junior in this lineup. That pitch outside, it'll be 2-0. Oh, they'll say it's a strike, so 1-1.
Yeah, their team is a mixture of a lot of old and a lot of young. Majority of their starting lineup is either a senior or a freshman. There's only 2. One's a junior and the other is a sophomore.
So definitely a mix of some experience, but also youth in there for Point. 2-1 count now. Again, runner on second. Again, it would be great for CIU to just get this first win in game one, get the monkey off their back, and not have to worry about that anymore.
Parrish has a real good opportunity to put this inning away.
That pitch a little outside, so that'll make it 3-2 full count. 3-2 pitch coming from Parrish, and there's the strikeout. So 3 strikeouts for Parrish in this first inning. You can see why he's been the ace for the last 3 years. We will head to the bottom of the inning with the Rams and Skyhawks tied at 0. So James Lavera will lead off for CIU grad transfer for the Rams. On the mound is Chase Raines, left-handed pitcher from Covington, Georgia. Had a couple Covington, Georgia guys come through Miller Field this year. What's he looking like on the season, Corbett?
Well, the senior coming into this game is the second pitcher as far as innings pitched so far in the season. Oh.
Throw goes over the head of the first baseman there, who was trying to get in front of Lavera and get the tag. Probably would have just been better to have stayed on the bag in that instance. What do you think, Corbett?
That was a little interesting. I was surprised to see that catcher make that much of an effort to run into our player on first, but I mean, nonetheless, he's still at first, and everything worked out, I suppose.
You rarely see a first baseman run down the line or down the first baseline towards home plate, and then a throw goes that direction over his head back towards home plate. So that was a interesting decision. But as it is, James Lavera is on first now. So good start, at least offensively, for CIU to get the runner on. It'll be a throwing error, as throw was. If the first baseman had made the catch on the throw, he would have been able to. He should have been able to make the tag out of Lavera, but just a little bit too high. So Lavera on first. Josh Hernandez at the plate now for CIU. Hernandez, the home run leader for the Rams, not just on the season, but also in his career. And there is strike two, 1-2, as Chase Raines looks for his first strikeout of the inning.
Coming into this game, he had 25 strikeouts, which is currently third on the point roster.
As you mentioned, Raines with an ERA of 4.50. And again, as we've seen the NAI this year, that's not a bad ERA for what we've seen in the NAI and in the AAC. And Raines will catch Lavera over there as he's picked off at first. So after getting the runner on, Lavera thrown out, just being a little too ambitious, leading off the bag. And he will sit down. So count at 1-2, that pitch outside makes it 2-2. Hernandez will pop that up. Shallow center field. Miscommunication maybe a little bit by the center fielder and the shortstop. Originally, shortstop looked like he was there, and then center fielder called him off, came in and made the catch. So 2 outs on the board now for Point. Corbett, I thought that might have been the second error of the game coming up there, but they were able to get it figured out.
Yeah, it looked to me like the shortstop might have lost the ball in the sun, but that doesn't look like that could be the case right now.
Yeah, obviously, how late we are in the season, even though it's a 6 o'clock game, still sunshine for the majority of the game, as Buddy Bleasdale will start his day off going 1 for 1 with a single to center field.
I'd like to see more of batting like that, where they're hitting the gaps and trying to just to get runners on bases. I think that's a more efficient way of, scoring runs. But we got Britton up to bat, and we know how he likes to hit it.
Yeah, and Bleasdale, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it has the highest batting average on the team Bleasdale has been a guy that's been very efficient throughout his time at CIU. This also, though he was a senior last year in his extra COVID grad year this year. This is also Bleasdale's last series at home as a member of the Rams.
Bleasdale is second in batting average on the roster, only behind Ward Hacklin. Oh, yeah, Ward Hacklin.
Yeah, so Bleasdale second on the team in batting average, as Raines already picked off Lavera at first. Now he's trying to pick off Bleasdale, as this is Brenton Morris. Morris, a guy that has been a welcome addition, especially at the plate for CIU this season, has primarily DH'd for CIU.
Yeah, and his batting average doesn't reflect how good of a hitter he actually is. He can hit the ball pretty far, almost to the fence, it seems like, every time he makes contact. He has a little bit of trouble getting it over the fence, but he gets it to the fence nonetheless every time he hits it.
Yeah, he's, I believe, more second in the team on doubles, if I'm not mistaken. I think Bleasdale is first, as I know Brenton Morris has picked up quite a few.
He is sitting at third right now, behind Bleasdale, Hernandez, and Hammonds.
And Morris has a guy that can get a lot of lift on the ball as he faces the 2-2 count here against the lefty Raines. And that pitch outside, so 3-2. So Rams an opportunity to get Bleasdale into scoring position, possibly if Morris can get one into play here. As Morris is walked, so Bleasdale moves over to second. That'll bring up Rob Bell. Bell, a guy that's also a senior but will be returning next year for a graduate year in the spring. And Bell is batting right-handed today, as he obviously faces the left-handed pitcher. We see Bell as the switch hitter going back and forth quite a bit, actually. I feel like even more so this year than we did see him last year, just because he was a little bit injured the past 2 years, primarily batted left-handed. But this year we've really seen him take advantage of those switch hitting capabilities and bat on either side of the plate. So Bell is the righty today, facing off against the lefty Raines. 1-0. That pitch is low. 2-0. So Raines, though he's got 2 outs here, has got to be careful. If he walks Bell, that'll load the bases.
Yeah, he threw it a little low and to the right, and he didn't like that pitch too much. But if you're Raines on the mound, you got to like that little gimme call.
Oh, and that dropped pretty low there. I called a strike, so it makes it 1-2.
I think that one, as opposed to the last one, was a lot better of a break. I do think that one stayed in. The other one was a little outside.
So 1-2. That is well outside, high and outside. 4-3. So this is making up to set up a good opportunity for Grant Bodison, who's on deck. Bodison is very good at driving in runs and keeping it. Oh, now that is around the ankles of Bell, so 3-2. It'll be up to Bell here to protect the plate and see if he can reach first on the walk or with a base hit. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Bell will swing at it. So the Rams will leave 2 stranded as we head to the second inning. Still no score. So very good start to this game for Justin Parrish in the first inning. 3 strikeouts as he will now face number 12, Kevin Howard, the catcher, also a senior, and that is hit to left center field, and caught by Carter Willis, who has just subbed into the game for James Lavera, who was out there at center. So this is number 10, Francisco Garcia. Go ahead, Corbett.
Garcia coming into this game is one of their better batters. His batting average is .344 with 41 RBIs and 5 home runs, which is third in their lineup.
Yeah, I was going to say Garcia, a guy that'll be all conference this year, and had a pretty good series, if I remember correctly, against CIU last season. As that makes it 1-2. So 2 strikes as Parrish looking for another strikeout. That is popped up, caught by Bleasdale for out number 2. So a quick 2 outs here in the top of the second, as the Rams, again, needing that 1 win to get into the AAC tournament for the second consecutive season.
I thought JP could have got the strikeout on that one with that third pitch. It looked like a curveball, and it hung up in the air just a little high, and the ump didn't like it, but he liked that one.
And this is Zeb Bard.
Zebediah Bard.
Yeah, Zeb Bard, the sophomore from Beauregard, Alabama. Listed at 225, so solid fella. Imagine if he gets a hold of it, send it pretty far. How many homers does he have on the year, Corbett?
Actually, none registered so far. His batting average coming into this is .210. He's only got 62 at-bats on the season.
And as we say that, he hits one off the left field fence.
Yep, and that will be...
Oh, he got there, apparently. So the double for Bard.
That'll make his second double on the season.
But that throw was almost there.
It's a great throw out of left field.
That's the thing about hitting. When you have one of those lefty hitters in there that coming around to second, making that throw from left field over to second. I just realized in the bottom of the inning I was saying Robert Bell was batting right-handed. He was obviously batting left-handed. Been used to him batting right-handed the past few games. Another lefty. This is Jason Dower. As there's the strike against Dower in that first pitch from Parrish.
Little update on Parrish's stats so far through the game. He has pitched 30. He has a pitch count of 30. He has 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he's faced 7 batters. Only given up 1 hit so far.
Which was that double just a minute ago. Yeah, another correction there. I was saying Parrish had 3 strikeouts, just has 2 so far. So runner at second. Count is 0-2. That one fouled off, so it'll stay at 0-2. Dower just trying to stay alive here. The Alpharetta, Georgia native. Point over there, Corbett, right on the border of Georgia and Alabama. West Point, Georgia, as Parrish gets the strikeout. There's his third of the game. And again, this time, Point leaves, runner stranded on second. And we will head to the bottom of the second inning. Again, score tied at 0. So Grant Bodison coming up for CIU. Bodison, another one of these guys on senior day is tomorrow, actually, as we will honor those seniors, but Grant Bodison will be one of them, as in his first plate appearance of this contest. So 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch is high. Makes it 2-0. That pitch a little outside. And 3-0 count here to start. So we'll see if Raines can dig his way out of this hole. And there's a strike, so makes it 3-1. Bodison was content to just wait on that pitch, Corbett. Here's the 3-1 pitch coming. And good connection there from Bodison. That will drop. And left fielder slips, which will give Bodison time to get to second. So the the double from Bodison gets him around to second, as he takes a shot to left field, and then left fielder slips. Still don't think he would have had time. Well, maybe he would have had time to get it over to second. I don't know. That throw was actually not too late, honestly.
It wasn't too late. He was moving, though. I mean, he put him in a great scoring position, and there's no outs so far.
Bodison, a lanky guy with those long legs, can really move on the base pass, as that'll bring up Shane Hammonds. Hammonds, again, another one of those seniors for CIU who will be honored tomorrow in between the Rams doubleheader games with Point. That right down the middle. First pitch is a strike against Hammonds.
That last hit for Bodison was only the second that Raines had given up so far today.
That one hit too short, and opportunity for, well, throw is a little bit late, and the opportunity for the double play was not there, as third baseman had to make the tag on Bodison, and he does. So Hammonds will get over to first. 1 out here, as that'll bring up Cody Trujillo.
In case the camera didn't catch it, when Bodison slid it into third, he actually swam over the third baseman's glove like he was a swimmer or something, but he did end up tagging him. It was just kind of a slick move on the fly.
So that's a veteran savvy move there from Bodison, but still will sit down, as 1 ball, no strikes here against Trujillo. That is popped up and will get out to shallow right field, where Hammonds will safely get back to first. So 2 outs and runner on first for CIU. So after what was a promising start to this inning, CIU maybe not going to be able to capitalize on it. We'll see how this at-bat goes for Jan Maldonado.
Yeah, and eventually we're going to have to capitalize on these runners being on like second and first and almost third. But JP's been making it at least somewhat of a fair fight, because he's been pitching a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, with Justin Parrish in there, you know you're always going to have an opportunity, because he keeps the runs from piling up. Obviously, CIU's got to put some runs on the board, but only in the second inning. So that is hit to
that is a well-hit ball.
Left field, but short of the fence and caught for out number 3. So we will head to the top of the third. No score. So pitch there will end up going foul, as that's fouled off by, that is Cole Sunyer. Sunyer, the freshman out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. So 1-2 here against Sunyer. And that will hit Sunyer, so he will reach base after being hit by the pitch. That'll bring up the leadoff man, Dylan Brown. Corbett, what was Dylan Brown's last at-bat? If I'm not mistaken, I think he was struck out.
He did, in fact, strike out. You are correct.
So Brown led off in the first inning and was struck out by Parrish. So he will try to fare better this time.
He's one of his 3 so far.
They'll say Bleasdale was not on the bag. So Coach Johnson not happy with the call. So runner will reach second.
Not sure if he was upset about the call or the decision. He threw that ball pretty late.
That stays, well, go foul. So the righty, Connor Varnum, back up now. Varnum walked on his last at-bat. So 0-2. Runners on first and second. Here's a strike. And that will sit down Varnum. So that is Parrish's 4th strikeout of the game.
That was a big bounce back versus his last at-bat against Varnum, in which he walked him.
Another righty, Jacoby Smith. We talked about Smith in the first inning and how dangerous he can be. And Parrish catches him on that first pitch. He took a hack at it.
Yeah, it was a little low, and he still somehow got a lot of power, even though he swung it about at his shins.
0-1. Again, runner is on first and second for a point. Time called as Smith will take a step out of the box, rub his gloves together, and step back in. Maybe not a good handle on the bat there. Another hack from Smith as he's really reaching low on these pitches, isn't he, Corbett?
He really is, and I think he got out by a pop fly on his last at bat. So that's not super surprising.
Maybe a little frustration from Smith as he wants to see a pitch that he can take a big swing at.
He is one of their heavy hitters. He's currently second on their team with home runs at 7.
That time had some patience, as that is probably where both of those pitches prior to that one would have ended up, low and in the dirt, if he hadn't taken a hack at him.
He'd maybe be ahead of the count.
Yeah, probably would be up 3-0, but it is, as it is, 1-2 here against Smith. And that one off the stem of the bat and caught by Trujillo. So after not the greatest start here to the inning, Rams get 2 outs, and Obviously, a little miscommunication over there at first, which allowed that second out, or excuse me, which gave up the runner on first right now.
It's a good way to bounce back in this inning for Trujillo. I mean, it wasn't, it was a mishap over at first earlier, but to make up for it with that line drive like that was nice.
There's the strike against Jackson Bush. So Parrish looking for his 5th K of the evening. We're just in the 3rd inning. There it is, strike 2. So again, both teams have left runners on base in both prior innings, and Parrish trying to do that again.
This would be a big last out for them. He leads their team, leads their team in home runs and their best batting average, or not their best batting average, but one of their best.
Both runners will advance on the pass ball. A 1 ball, 2 strikes. At low. It's in there 2-2. Parrish can force maybe a pop out or a fly out here. And I think he will, as that's hit to left field and caught in left field. So Shane Hammonds makes a good play out there in left field. And again, runners left on base as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, still 0-0. So Carter Willis to lead things off here in the 3rd. Willis's first appearance at the plate today, as James Levera actually started in center field, and then Willis subbed in for Levera after the 1st inning. So this is his first time facing Raines today. 0-2. Willis, the left-handed batter out of Wren, South Carolina. That one hit on the ground, and throw was made very low. Thought it might not get there.
It's a very close call.
But it does get over there to first. Zeb Bard at first base. I'll bring up Josh Hernandez. Hernandez flew out last time at bat. And I think for Josh is, he's counted on in a lot of ways to get on base every time he's at the plate, Corbett. So, it just takes him a little while sometimes to settle down against some of these pitchers in the AAC, but usually ends up finding those gaps and getting on base a couple times every game.
Yeah, and I know he hasn't had the season he's wanted, but, all things considered, he's still had a pretty successful season so far. He's got 45 hits so far with 33 RBIs.
Still a guy I would hope ends up at least on that Appalachian Athletic Conference second team, as those awards will be released this weekend, or actually released on Monday. Two. And that is a good shot to left field and just goes foul. If that had been fair, it would have been at least a double for Hernandez. That was one of those, Corbett, that bounces back into the corner, can't find it, gets lost behind the tarp, all that good stuff, but as it is, goes foul.
I guess it's better than it going back into the woods.
Yeah, won't lose those $13 baseballs or whatever, however much they are. As that is hit to third, and that throw, again, a little bit short, similar to the one that was from second. I don't know if it's just the sun right there that's making these fielders a little hesitant on these throws the first quarter, but that one, again, I thought might go a little short. Again, gets there, but 2 outs, but still got to be careful with these infielders for point.
Yeah, that would definitely make a lot more sense than the pop fly earlier that I thought maybe got lost in the sun. I can see why throwing into first can be a little bit of a challenge today, but they won't be facing that challenge for much more.
So 2 outs as Bleasdale again goes, they'll say it's fair. So Bleasdale goes 2 for 2 today so far with a single and now a double. That one was, again, that's what we just talked about. Yeah. And to be honest, Corbett, that looked like it was foul.
It did look like it was foul. It was about at the exact same spot that Hernandez had hit his. But, I mean, if you're a CIU fan, I'm sure you're not complaining.
Yeah, for CIU, that's obviously what you're looking for. And something that Buddy is very good at doing, which is picking up doubles, leads the team. So 2 outs, runner on second. This will bring up Britton Morris. That one hit up the gap, and Bleasdale will have a chance to come home. That's a good throw. Oh. And so Morris drives in Bleasdale and then will advance to second on the throw. So the RBI single from Britton Morris.
I thought the catcher might have actually had a chance to make a play.
I thought so as well.
But he was more focused on the furthest bag from him rather than the runner that was right behind him.
I thought catcher maybe would have had a chance to reach back and make the tag. As it is, Rams go up 1-0 here in the third inning. Big swing and a miss there from Rob Bell. Again, Britton Morris gets the RBI single after the double from Buddy Bleasdale. And any lead with Justin Parrish on the mound feels pretty good if you're CIU. Again, CIU just need to win one game to get into the AAC tournament in Kingsport this weekend. They will play, at this point, if they win, they'll play Montreat in the play-in game on Tuesday. That schedule has not been released yet, so I don't know quite the time that would be on Tuesday. But again, that up at the Kingsport Met Stadium in Kingsport, Tennessee. So a bit of a drive from Columbia, but one you're willing to make if you're a diehard CIU fan.
Most definitely.
Rams had some success at the conference tournament last year, beat Milligan as Raines sits down Bell, but not before CIU adds one run. So we will head to the top of the fourth, CIU up 1-0. One ball, one strike now against Kevin Howard as the Point will try to even things up here in the fourth inning. So 1-2, Parrish looking for that fifth strikeout. And that was almost it. A little high, makes it 2-2. And Corbett, again, I mentioned this in the last inning, but got to feel pretty comfortable when you have Parrish on the mound and you have a lead. Feel like you're in a good spot if you're CIU?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've mentioned it before, you know, it's always nice to have JP on the mound, but you should never get too comfortable. It is only a 1-0 ball game so far.
And we haven't really talked about the way that Point can put up runs, but as that is a little pop out to Bleasdale at first. But Point last week beat Union 22-0 in one of their games against the Bulldogs. So runs are not something that Point struggles to put up, but they are here. They are struggling a little bit offensively here in this one.
Yeah, most definitely. They actually ended up putting up 14 runs against Union in the game prior to that 22-run game. So they know how to hit the ball, that's for sure.
There's a fly out to center field as quick 2 outs in the fourth as CIU up 1-0.
Just looking through their schedule so far, another notable game that they had where they scored a lot of runs was against Columbus State. They had 21 runs to 3.
And Columbus State, a Division II team, I believe. A good win there. Put up 21 runs against a NCAA Division II team as that makes it 1-1. That's outside. 2-1. That is hit to left field foul. 2-2. Parrish, again, trying to get that elusive fifth strikeout here in the fourth inning and in the side and keep point with no runs. That is well inside for ball 3. So 3-2.
Little update on JP's stats so far. He's only given up 2 hits, but he has 4 strikeouts through 58 pitches.
Yeah, not a bad outing. Again, we've seen Parrish pretty much, as that is a shot to on the ground to left field. So there's another hit against Parrish. But we've seen Parrish pretty consistently goes 6 innings, and then Coach Johnson will make a change. I was talking about this before the game. You know, maybe do we see Parrish go longer just because, you know, this is the last hurrah, last time he's here. But again, also you're going to think about saving him if you are in the conference tournament, as that is a good catch from Maldonado, and he makes the out at first. So we'll see what happens defensively for CIU, but right now they're clicking as 1-0, bottom of the inning, bottom of the fourth inning coming up. One strike here against Bodison after that foul ball. And Bodison try to lay down the bunt there. That's foul, so still 0-2. Forward to NFL draft coming up tonight. Anybody you think should be or will go as the first pick?
Well, I know who shouldn't, and that's Aiden Hutchinson. But I'm really just interested in seeing how my Buckeyes do with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and will they go?
Bodison will fly out to right field. And yes, you know, as you get into the spring here, baseball starts to become the focus, but in the United States, the media will do anything to get the focus on football. So
that's for sure, and American football at that, just to be clear.
The NFL draft, I'm sure, going to get higher ratings than any MLB game that is going on tonight. As that is ball 1. One ball, no strikes. So 2-0 now. That one is fouled off. Two one. That is a good hit to left field. So Shane Hammonds will round first. And left fielder having trouble finding that one. Again, that's the second one we've had out there in the corner of left field. That has been hard to locate for the left fielder, as Hammonds will get the stand-up double.
Yeah, I think they found a spot in the outfield that they like to hit towards. And, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. One, with the shift, the left fielder's over to the right side a little bit more. On top of that, the sun, we were mentioning it earlier, is shining probably directly from home plate to that left fielder.
Now certainly a larger gap over there in between the left fielder and the center fielder than there is between the center fielder and the right fielder, as that is where CIU has been really not just hitting the left field as you would imagine with a bunch of right-handers in the lineup, but really in that left corner.
Really tight along the line.
Yeah, very tight along the line. We had one that from Bleasdale that honestly looked like it was foul after following up after Hernandez one that also towed the line there, but good hit from Shane Hammonds. So 1-1 here against Trujillo. Runner on second. That are on the knees of Trujillo. 2-1.
It's a good opportunity for Trujillo to try to get this at least one win this weekend, get an RBI and add that to his stats, hopefully get the win.
That popped over the head of Raines. Out is made on the fielder's choice as, out is made at first. And Shane Hammonds advances to third. So runner at third, that'll bring up Jan Maldonado. And that is just off the tip of the bat of Maldonado. Makes it 0-1.
It seems like it'd just be a good idea to stick with the strategy and hit it along that left foul line.
Easier said than done. That is hit to shortstop. Good throw that time from the shortstop to make the out at first. So we will make our way to the top of the fifth. CIU still up 1-0. 0-1. As that is hit towards second base, high towards second base. Maldonado tracks it, towards third base. Maldonado tracks it and is able to find it for the out. So Maldonado sure-handed over there at third.
Line judge over on the left side was playing games with our third baseman.
Yeah, ump over there was kind of running right alongside Maldonado, making sure that he saw what happened, as that is hit to left center field, and a runner will record the single. One out now. So runner on first is Dylan Brown. And as we talked about this earlier, decision time coming up for Coach Johnson on how long Justin Parrish stays in there. Again, for as long as he's gone this season is 6 innings. But with this game so crucial and holding the lead, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think they have a little bit of time to let JP rest his arm after this game. So, I mean, if you're Coach JJ, I think you got to let him play it as long as he can. He's done pretty well so far through the first 4. I would say keep him out there, and I think he'd have enough time before their first tournament game to rest.
Obviously, would be a quick turnaround, though, on Tuesday in that play-in game if CIU is able to pull this out.
Is that a winner-go-home game?
That's the only single elimination game in the tournament. This is Connor Varnum back up now for point, and that is chopped in the gap over there. So it's base hit for Varnum. Runners on first and second. And Jacoby Smith back up now for point. Smith been raring for a hit all day. Again, taking swings at pretty much everything. But we know if he can get a hold of it, that ball's pretty much gone, as that gets in there for the strike. 0-1.
If I had to guess, I don't think we'll see Justin Parrish pitch this entire game. He's already thrown 70 before this batter, and we're just now at the top of the 5th. So we'll see how he finishes this game out, but he has given up 2 of his 4 runs just in these last 2 innings alone.
Or you mean 2 of these 4 hits?
Yeah, sorry.
And yeah, in the last 2 innings is. I imagine we'll see Brett Collins would be the guy that will come in, and though Coach Johnson has saved Collins, as there's another strikeout for Parrish. There is his 5th of the game.
Yep, he's shown he still has life. He's definitely not somebody who's going to just, start to give up when he starts to feel his arm tire a little bit. He's definitely going to fight through that.
So Jackson Bush back up now. Big swing and a miss. Takes it 0-1. So 2 outs. Rams trying to keep runs off the board. Runner on second. Again, Point has left a lot of players stranded through these first 4 innings.
If I'm JP right now, I'm definitely throwing these balls low in the dirt, honestly, because this Jackson Bush, even though he is a heavy hitter all day today, he has been hacking at some of these balls. Most of them have been below the knees. So 1-1, 2 outs. This would be a
Big moment for Parrish if he can get the strikeout. He's come up big pretty much every time the Rams have needed so far in this one. So pitching the shutout here in the 5th. That's fouled off. So make it 2-2. So Parrish with the opportunity now for the strike and the strikeout as 2-2, 2 runners on. That's a little outside. Ball 3. So full count here.
Looks like his breaking balls are getting a little away from him, but if you're going to throw speed, I think you got to try to throw it to the edge of the corners because anything in the middle, he is their best batter on their lineup, so don't give him anything easy.
Parrish in danger of loading the bases, and that's fouled off. So both guys live to fight another day here as Parrish trying to get that strikeout against Bush.
Might see him try to go with another breaking ball here, but I don't know if I would risk that. That could load the bases. In the last 2 or 3 breaking balls he's had, it's been a little too far outside.
That pitch was well high, and that will load the bases.
Looks like he risked it anyway. It did come in a little fast. If he was trying to throw some junk, it was definitely something like a slider. I don't think he was trying to throw a curve or anything like that.
Looks like, this is Kevin Howard, the catcher. There is all 1 against Howard. So Parrish may be slowing down a tad here in this 5th inning.
He's also in a pretty big pressure situation. That was a good strike on the inside. But he's faced their biggest heavy hitter now on first. This is one of their second heaviest hitters. He's batting 325.
That's a good hit to right field, and that'll score 2. At least, as 1 will reach third, and Howard gets the second. So the 2 RBI double by Kevin Howard puts CIU in the hole now, 2-1. And opportunity for more for Point with a runner on second, runner on third. So no scoring through 4 innings. Now things starting to pick up a little bit offensively for the Skyhawks.
That was Kevin Howard's 29th and 30th RBI on the season. He's having a pretty good year so far, but that was a big hit for them.
Pitch runner came in for Howard as pop out there. Not sure what number who that pinch runner is that came in. It was, looks like it was Gabriel, number 2, but I have a hard time seeing that as pop out there. So we will head to the bottom of the 5th. CIU down 2-1 now. Pitch in there. Ball 1. So 2-0 as Willis in his second time facing Rains today. Corbett, also be interesting to see how long Rains goes. Give me a look at how he's been doing this evening.
Yeah, so far through this game, he's got pitch count of 60. He's given up 5 hits, but only 1 run. And he's faced 18 batters so far.
So Rains facing the fellow lefty Willis. That's fouled off. So 3-2 full count. That is lofted very high over towards first base and caught for out number 1. So CIU now playing from behind as 2-1 in our score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Corbett, in these AAC series, you see the first game low scoring all very often because both teams are usually pitching their best guys out there. And then in games 2 and 3, it's kind of like the Wild West. You see runs well into the double digits many times. Like we just said, point scored 22 against Union last week. We've seen the Rams score 18 runs in a game this season in the AAC. So,
yeah, there's very few teams that have a lot of what could be ace pitchers on their roster, and that kind of is what sets apart some of the upper echelon teams versus the ones that are kind of fighting to just get into the playoffs. And that's those are teams like Tennessee Wesleyan and St. Andrews. They just have so many good pitchers. It's really easy to win those 2 and 3 games, whereas a lot of other people, they just have to rely on a lot of batting.
Yeah, we know how good Tennessee Wesleyan's pitchers are. Obviously, the past 2 years, St. Andrews had one of right up there with Tennessee Wesleyan and their pitching staffs. And last year, St. Andrews didn't quite have the offense to go with those pitchers. This year they do, I think, and that has changed a lot of things for them, helped them get to I believe they're in second, right, in the conference right now. So, yeah, second place for St. Andrews. 2-2, that is fouled up by Hernandez. So 2-2. 1 out. Again, if Hernandez can get on base, Buddy Bleasdale is 2 for 2 today. He's on deck, so it will be an opportunity for CIU to at least try to tie this one up. And that is hit to center field, caught. So fly out there by Hernandez. That'll bring up Buddy Bleasdale. We've seen Bleasdale get a double with 2 outs in his last at-bat. So we'll see if Bleasdale can try to capitalize on what's already been a really good day for him.
Yeah, Bleasdale has been pretty good today, and it's been really efficient, but it's pretty unfortunate to see him batting right now just because there's 2 outs right now and nobody on base, so not a lot to work with for him, but I mean, he's been consistent throughout the day, so maybe he can at least set something up and get on in a scoring position.
So 2 outs. That is in the dirt. 1-0. So 1-0 pitch as that is hit to left field. And that goes right to the right of that left field foul pole. And Corbett, we said, not much Bleasdale can do, even though he's having a great game, but he just makes it even better as he hits the homer to tie things up.
He sees that they need one win today, and he said, I will make that happen.
I definitely got that. So Bleasdale hits the home run to left field, and that was a skyrocket that just kind of came down right past that left field wall as Morris hits one to center field, and that's caught. But CIU able to tie things up here in the 5th inning, so we will head to the 6th, tied at 2-2. So Point trying to respond with this game tied at 6, and Corbett Parrish still on the mound. So we'll see how this inning goes. That makes it 1-1.
Yeah, despite a little bit of a slip-up at the end of the last inning, he did close it out with a sac or a pop fly, sorry. Oh, whoops. Little technical difficulties there. Yeah, even though he did have a little bit of a slip there at the end, he has 84 pitches thrown so far with 5 strikeouts and 5 hits given up. So we'll see how he can bounce back from the end of that last inning.
Good start, hopefully, as it is a good start, as that is a fly out to left field, as Justin Parrish helps CIU add an out. That'll bring up Jason Dower to the plate for Point. Another pop-up. This one is fouled off. So 0-1. Pitch is low, makes it 1-1. That chop back to Parrish. Good play from him. The height of Parrish helps him grab that. And out number 2 on the board now.
This inning's really working in Parrish's favor so far. He got through the tough part of the lineup or in the last inning, I mean, and now he's going against somewhat of a weaker part of the lineup, and he's already gotten through 2 outs with only adding 11 pitches.
Yeah, so not too many pitches as Parrish had to throw here in this 6th inning, and that's what you want to see if you want to keep it maybe for one more. That's another fly ball to a little shallower center field, as that is Robert Bell who comes over to make the catch for out number 3. We will head to the bottom of the 6th. CIU and Point all knotted at 2 apiece. So Robert Bell to lead off here in the 6th for CIU. Change on the mound. This is Bailey Mara, who Corbett has not played a ton this year. Tell us a little bit about Bailey.
A little bit of a tough stat line for the junior. He's only got 6 innings pitched so far in the year, and he's given up 21 hits with an ERA of 24.30. He's got 7 appearances so far.
That is hit, and pitcher is Mara able to barely get there and make kind of a spinning throw back to first base to get Bell out at first. But, yeah, so Mara trying to improve his stats on the season. And Point possibly now trying to get into starting to think about the doubleheader tomorrow and the guys they'll throw out there against CIU in game 2 and 3. As here's Grant Bodison. That pitch well outside. Ball 1. And Bodison able to check his swing. Makes it 2-0. There is a swing from Bodison. So 2-1 now after that strike, as Bodison kind of reaches outside for that pitch.
Mara before this game had 6 strikeouts. So he's looking to get his stats a little bit corrected.
That's caught in right field. So quick 2 outs for Mara, as doing his job so far in the 6th. As Shane Hammonds now up. Hammonds having a pretty good game as well for CIU. 1 for 2 with the double.
Yeah, I'd say this will be Mara's testing point. He's only thrown 6 pitches so far, so we have been making contact with the ball. We just haven't really got it into a good spot.
Big swing and a miss there for strike one. Just joining us, Rams got up early 1-0. Point came back to go ahead 2-1 in the top of the fifth, and then Buddy Bleasdale with the home run in the bottom of the inning tied things up, and that's where we are now here in the bottom of the sixth, tied 2-2.
That first pitch that he had against Hammonds did not reflect that of his stats. It was pretty nice. He was inside and it broke right into the middle, but since then he's thrown it high and away.
2-1. That's outside as well. So I'll make it 3-1 here. Our 2 outs, so Mara not with a ton of pressure on him in this situation. But nonetheless, tie ball game. That's fouled off. So that'll make it 3-2. Full count here. So Mara worked his way back into the count at 3-2. Cody Trujillo is on deck for CIU.
It looks to me like the CIU batters are kind of going up there like they know his stats. It seems like they're swinging at some pitches that I personally wouldn't swing at.
And that's called a strike. So first strikeout of the game for Mara as 3 outs in the sixth. As we will go to the top of the seventh, CIU and Point tied at 2. So Dylan Brown, who's at the top of the order for Point, will lead off here in the top of the seventh. That one hit to right field and will go fair, stay fair, as Brown falls down. So the single for Brown, again, Corbett, here's Justin Parrish in the seventh inning. So still in there.
He's got 93 pitches so far. Oh, I'm sorry, 95. That just updated. So I'd say Coach JJ is probably going to try to buy a little bit of time. It looks like there's some action out there in the bullpen. It might be Brett Collins warming up from here, if I can see right.
I think it is Brent Collins. That's who I would assume would be in there as the bunt is laid down. Parrish. Whoa. And that, they'll say that the throw was beat out on the bunt. Very, very close. It was a good bunt laid down over there down the third base line. Parrish a tad slow getting there. But from my angle, I thought that the throw beat runner 2 first.
Yeah, it definitely, to me, looked like a split-second decision, but I did think that the base runner should have been called out.
It's hard to see from our angle, but looked like to us the runner was out. But as it is, runner on first and second as Smith ducks very low down in his stance. So 1 ball, no strikes. There's bunt showed again. That fouled off. No outs, runner on first and second. So Point is in a good situation with the go-ahead run at second, and not sure what's going on here. Looks like Brown needs to run to the dugout for a minute. We'll take a quick break while Point gets situated out on the base pass. That pitch. So 2-1 as Smith shows bunt again. This one goes just over the head of Bleasdale. The out is made at first. So the sacrifice bunt will advance both runners. Bleasdale was almost there. It just went over his head as runners advance to second and third. So the go-ahead run at third and Jackson Bush at the plate. Always a good situation, though, when you are able to get Jacoby Smith to bunt. You definitely don't want him hitting that 2-run or, I guess, 3-run shot either, but there is the first strike here against Bush.
Bush is exactly who Point wants up at the plate right now, because with a struggling JP at this late in the game, he is their heavy hitter. He's got their best batting average. Oh, that is Bush. Okay, I thought I saw that wrong. But yeah, he is who they definitely want, especially with 1 out. He can kind of swing for the fences with not a lot of repercussion.
Yeah, Smith and Bush here in the teeth of this lineup. Got to get through these without giving up any runs. See Coach Johnson over there intently watching Parrish to see when it's time to make the change. That is hit to left field. Runner will probably tag up. He will. Here's the throw, and that is not going to get to third, so that'll allow 1 more. Well, they'll say Parrish wasn't able to make the play at home, so that allows 2 runs to score as 1 runner scores on the throw from left field. So all of a sudden, 4-2 here in the top of the 7th. It's only, it should be only 1 out, right? 2 outs? There's 2 on this. Oh, the fly ball, that's right. I've been watching. So 2 outs after that sacrifice fly scored the runner from first, and then runner at second scored on the throw from left field. 4-2, as CIU is going to need some offense now in the bottom of the inning. (3-1) our count against Howard. Howard, the catcher, at the plate for point.
Looks like
that gets in there for the strike.
It looks like we're going to see JP at least finish out the inning, but Brett is warmed up, so I'd say we'll see him at the start of the top of the 8th.
And CIU is going to need some offense in the bottom of this inning, as good job by Justin Parrish to finish with the strikeout. That may be the last time we see Justin Parrish in a game here at Miller Field, and so definitely want to show our appreciation to the contributions that Parrish has made to this program in its 3 years of existence. So we will head to the bottom of the 7th, CIU down 4-2. So Cody Trujillo at bat now for CIU. Trujillo 0 for 2 today. That one looked like it almost hit Trujillo. I've been at the hands of Cody. Sometimes, you're told to throw at the hands. As 0-1. That was a ball. Trujillo able to check his swing. It was a good pitch, though, from Mara.
Yeah, I would like to know who Mara had pitched against and why his stats were as rough as they were, because he's not really playing like his stats reflect.
And that'll be a hit for Trujillo as he reaches first and then gets around to second on the throw. Put it in a very difficult spot right there for the shortstop to make. Shortstop is able to get there and get to the ball, make the play, but then obviously that throw is going to be near impossible to make over to first. So Trujillo will get around to second. That's big as Jan Maldonado, the tying run, comes up to bat for CIU. That one near the knees of Maldonado, 1-0. And I imagine, Corbett, that maybe Mara was – we need to look at his season last year. I'm wondering if he was hurt for a good portion of the season, and so that's why he hasn't played in very many games. That is fouled off. So 1-1. because you have a small sample size like that, doesn't really give you the whole story. Only played in how many innings was it that he's pitched so far?
6.2 before today.
Just 6 innings pitched. So that's what Parrish and Raines both pitched today total. So not much to base that off of, or base his performance off of, as that is hit to right field. Good play by the right fielder to get over there. That throw on the ground to second, as Trujillo will stay and not tag up. So that'll bring up Carter Willis. Willis again represents the tying run, trying to score Trujillo. Trujillo over at second. So here's Carter Willis, and two staples of the CIU baseball program up for CIU. Carter Willis at bat now, and Hernandez on deck, as Howard will go talk to Mara and see if he can calm him down a little bit, as that pitch was very wild. That just looked like one of those where you're just trying to throw as hard as you can, just lose control. Third baseman Garcia comes over, third baseman Garcia comes over to join the chat as well, as Mara will step back up on the mound to face Willis. And this is Hernandez is on deck. Wouldn't it be great, Corbett, to see Hernandez hit a home run that scored both Trujillo and Willis? Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, as 2-0 right now against Willis. And I'll be interested to see also if Mara will make it through the rest of this game.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. There's only one out so far, so if I'm Carter and Josh, I would definitely just try to get the ball in play, hit the gaps, and just keep advancing runners, because you're not in a big rush. You still have a little bit of time to try to build a lead back. And both of these guys are definitely capable of hitting the ball deep, but they're just as capable of just hitting a well-hit ball.
That pitch is outside, and now Willis will walk. So this will bring up Hernandez. In my opinion, this is where Josh Hernandez is at his best. And facing a guy like Mora, I think Hernandez can really take advantage of the opportunity here. Runner on first and second. Hernandez represents the go-ahead run.
As long as he stays disciplined and gets a good strike on the ball, I think he can definitely just completely change this game, because Mara's been throwing it a lot outside whenever he tries to throw it with a lot of heat. So if he tries to throw it a little slower and a little more controlled, we could see this ball go pretty far.
I know that's what Hernandez is thinking right now, is he just wants to sink his teeth into one of these. But again, that can also cause problems.
Cooler heads will prevail.
So 1-0 right now, the count. And that is a pretty well-hit ball towards right field. And just like we were talking about, Hernandez able to take advantage of the opportunity. And Trujillo will score. So the double from Hernandez scores one, and Trujillo gets home on the throw from second. We got a pinch runner coming in for Hernandez.
That'll be Josh Hernandez's 34th RBI on the season.
Tanner Bridges coming in to pinch run for Hernandez. Oh, what am I saying? Aaron Hood. I was like, dang, Tanner Bridges, no way he's going in there. Excuse me, I had Tanner Bridges going in. That was Aaron Hood pinch running for Josh Hernandez, both wearing number 34 on the roster. That was my mistake. Only the 50th game of the year, Corbett, and still getting people mixed up out there.
I'm sure our viewers won't hold it against you.
As like we set it up, Hernandez comes in, gets the double, ties the game. Or excuse me, brings it to within 1. And now runners on second and third.
Now in another ideal situation with Bleasdale up at the plate. He's just like Hernandez, is exactly who you want in this situation. 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out against a pitcher who looked good the first inning that he pitched, but he is starting to bounce back against Bleasdale, but prior to this had been struggling.
Yeah, just needs, if you can get control, has some decent pitches, but got to get control here. 1-2. That'll even the count at 2 apiece.
Stayed disciplined on that one. It was close to being a strike, but it was a little low.
So go-ahead run is at second, tying run at third. That is hit to center field, and Willis will have the opportunity to tag up for sure. Center fielder chooses to try to go to third, and 1 run scores. So we are all knotted now at 4 apiece. Again, this game is so important because CIU can get into the AAC tournament with a win tonight. Again, we'll have opportunities tomorrow if they don't. But this would be huge and wouldn't have to worry about the pressure of those games tomorrow. And Corbett would give Coach JJ a chance to make sure he's got the pitching going into next week for the AAC tournament and not doesn't have to waste it all tomorrow if they were able to get the win today. So that's also important.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're Coach JJ tomorrow, I'd like to see who he does end up pitching, because obviously you want to try to save some of your upper echelon pitchers for the tournament, but maybe we'll see some people who don't normally get a lot of playing time, but we got to get to that win first tonight.
Yeah, still tied at 4 apiece right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rob Bell on deck for the Rams. That pitch, well, in the dirt as 2-2, and I imagine, Corbett, that we will see someone else come out in the 8th inning for point. But right now, 2-2, 2 outs. Again, the go-ahead run is at first in the form of Aaron Hood.
There is some action in the bullpen right now.
That pass ball will allow CIU to score, and they go up 5-4 now.
There is some action going on in the bullpen for point right now. I couldn't get a good look on who it is warming up out there, but it doesn't look like he's coming in just yet. So we'll see if Coach goes out to the mound or if they try to let him pitch a little while longer.
So CIU able to add 3 in this inning and take the lead. And that is hit to center field. Looks like center field had lost it there for a second, but able to make the catch. So we will go to the top of the 8th. The Rams up 5-4. So the change on the mound for CIU is Brett Collins. Collins coming in to try and close things out for CIU with the 1-run lead. Collins, if he's able to do it, would get the save. That's fouled off. Makes it 1-1.
Yeah, Coach JJ trying to keep some of their higher end arm talents on the field as much as possible tonight because, again, you want to win this one game at least in the series, and he's definitely going all out for this one, putting two of his better pitchers on the mound tonight. They're really going all out just to try to get this one tonight.
Yeah, obviously, I think got a pretty good chance at least win one of these games in the series, but as Collins adds another strike, be really helpful to get this game here early on Friday with having to turn around and play on Tuesday. Yeah, like we mentioned, really want to be able to rest some of these arms tomorrow if possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, it just looks like they're putting all their eggs in one basket. They're really trying to win this very first game, and it's close and it's very winnable, but put yourself in a hard position given Game 2 and Game 3, looking at what the pitching is to come.
That is fouled off. And again, Montreat would also, while Montreat actually played a doubleheader today, and then they play a single game tomorrow, so they'll be in a little bit different position as they will have the chance to rest arms tomorrow because they know they're in, and that would be the Rams' opponent, whether they're the 9th or the 10th seed. They'll play Montreat on Tuesday in the AAC tournament if they are able to pull this one out. So full count here against Garcia.
Garcia so far is 0 for 3 at the plate, but will make it to first on a walk.
So Collins walks the first batter that he faces of this 8th inning. That'll bring up Zeb.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that trend kind of with a lot of the CIU pitchers is they start out a little bit slow, but usually before the inning's even over, they can pick it back up in a pretty fast pace.
As that is Gabriel into the game to pitch run. Getting a little bit more chilly out here now, Corbett, with sun going down. It's been a pretty cool spring overall. Hasn't been too hot as it usually is in Columbia in April, but it was hot during the day today as that's foul on the bunt from Bard. That is hit towards Collins, and he slips, but it's still able to make the throw to first. Honestly, the runner slowed down pretty early. wasn't expecting to get to reach the base. It gave Collins the opportunity to make the throw over to first. For out number 1, as Hernandez will run up and talk to Collins. Take a quick break here on the CIU Sports Network. Rafi Gonzalez in for Trujillo. And I imagine, Corbett, that's more of an offensive move than anything, as Trujillo not having the greatest game at the plate. So long balls here, and then timeout taken by Dower.
Well, Gonzalez definitely deserves at least a little bit of playing time today. And at second, I know my guy had 2 finals with me today, and he's got to be exhausted as I am.
So Gonzalez, the academic and the athlete over there at second as 0-1. That is hit to center field, and that'll score at least one as Gabriel able to get in there to tie this game up at 5 apiece.
We'll see how much faith Coach JJ puts into Collins. I mean, just getting started, he's only got a handful of pitches, so maybe he could find a groove, but now's not the time to be finding a groove. He does have somebody warming up in the bullpen right now.
Yeah, but at what point are you or do you just say, we're going to try to win this game however we can, but we don't want to use up all our arms
exactly
here in this. And again, it must be slippery out there in the infield. That's the second time Collins has slipped. But runner able to reach first, so a little base hit there. Rings over, puts a runner at first and second. And I don't know if Collins is just a little bit of the cool dew on the grass is what's causing problems in the infield. But these bunts and little short hits in front of the plate are wreaking havoc.
Yeah, and he could seriously hurt himself. He's slipping pretty violently. I mean, I've seen people get hurt doing worse things than that. So, hopefully that he can get his footing under him. We can get out of this inning.
You just got to keep runs off the board now. 0-1. As 1 out, 2 runners on. A little over 2 hours in this game 1. That pitch was way high and away for ball 1. Makes it 1-1 now. Again, a little outside. Makes it 2-1. That pitch just a little high. Collins struggling to find that strike zone against Brown. Obviously Brown with the pretty small frame, so making it hard to get strikes in there.
Yeah, that one definitely looked like it depends on the ref or the ump call, because some umps I could definitely see calling that a strike.
But Collins gets the strike, so 3-2 now.
This could be a big turning point. He hasn't let it avalanche. It's only been 1 run so far, but with a 3-2 count, overcome a little adversity, maybe get some momentum on his side.
And there it is.
There it is.
So the strikeout from Collins gives us 2 outs here in the 8th. As Varnum now at bat. The runners on first and second. CIU trying to hold on and get the win in this game. We're tied up at 5 in the top of the 8th. That one near the left shoulder of Varnum for ball 1.
That, again, I thought was another one. It just depends on the ump. That one is up and to the left, but it was pretty close to the line, I thought.
Yeah, it did look like it dropped down towards the end. Got in there. That definitely got in there. 1-1. The runners on first and second. 5-5. 1-1 count. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. That was low. Makes it 2-1. Again, just don't let Varnum get it in play. If you're Collins, mindset is do or die here. Keep your team at least tied going into the bottom of the 8th and try to get some offense going. And there, that is what you need if you're Collins, as that is popped up towards third base. Ooh. And that almost bounced out of the glove of Maldonado. The little squeeze at the end keeps it in there, as CIU will head to the bottom of the 8th inning, all tied at 5-5. So Robert Bell to lead off here. Switch hitter has been batting right-handed for the majority of the game. Now batting left-handed as he faces the righty. This is Cale Wiggum, the junior out of Pelham, Georgia. And he will start things off with a strike. Corbett, though, CIU has forced the point now to use 3 different pitchers, so that will be helpful for tomorrow if the Rams are not able to pull this one out.
Yeah, very true. And not to speculate too much on their stats, because Bailey Mara, the previous pitcher for Point, actually pitched definitely a lot better than his stats coming into this game. Cale Wingham is a lot of the same. He has 9.2 innings pitched so far, but his ERA is 12.10. But as we learned from Mara, the stats are not always the indication of how players will play.
That pitch inside, called a strike. So 2-2 now here against Bell. And we are tied at 5 apiece here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's fouled off. So they'll stay at 2-2. So Rob Bell facing Wiggum. 2-2 pitch. That was off the bare hand. That skin sound was off of the catcher. I think that hit off his right forearm. Sounded like it hit Bell, but actually hit the arm of Kevin Howard. Three-two. And Bell is walked. So Wiggum walks his first batter that he faces. And Wiggum maybe just need to get a little under control here. Got one batter under his belt. Maybe he'll settle down a little bit as he faces Grant Bodison.
Bodison so far is 1 for 3 on this game. His one was a double in which, oh no, he did not bring in an RBI. I had that confused with another hit. But a chance to bring one in here if he can get pretty good contact on it.
Here's strike one against Bodison, who showed bunt. Strike was able to get in there regardless. Oh, 1, runner on first, no outs. Throw is over to first, and Bell is back to the back. Bodison adjusts his helmet, steps back into the box with the 0-1 count. Shows bunt. Garcia comes up. Good bunt from Bodison. Will do his job and advance Bell over to second. So now the go-ahead run on second, 1 out. Shane Hammond's up for CIU. Rafi Gonzalez will have his first chance after Hammonds as Gonzalez on deck. I think Coach Johnson just trying to make some adjustments to get the bats going a little more in that 8th hole by putting in Gonzalez for Trujillo. That pitch goes between the legs of Howard, as now the go-ahead run is at third.
That definitely helps, and Hammond's already had a double hit earlier today, so if he can have even a single right here, it could bring in the game-winning score.
And Bell will stay 2-0.
He looked really tempted to run, but definitely the smart move not to.
And if you're CIU, again, pitching done a decent job for the Rams today, but we know how potent that point offense can be. So if you can add multiple runs, that would help pad that lead a little bit. But as it is tied 5-5, 3-0, Bell on third is the go-ahead run. Shane Hammonds ahead of the count. So he can take a chance or two here. That's gets in there for the strike, so 3-1.
That was a little outside for my liking, but
I thought it was a little low and away, but called a strike.
Let me think about it. In the athletic department or in the business department?
3-2. As that makes it 3-2 with Shane Hammonds at the plate. And Hammonds not able to check his swing, so he will go down on the strikeout, as this brings up Rafi Gonzalez with the chance now to put CIU up here in the bottom of the 8th. Go-ahead run at third.
Gonzalez is a fan favorite for sure. He definitely got a big ovation getting up to the plate and has a chance to bring in the game-winning run.
If that ball had got just a little bit out to the right of the catcher there, Bell could have come home. Howard does a good job pulling it back in close, but that was about as close as it gets without a run coming in on a pass ball. That pitch is low. 2-0. Again, doesn't hurt you too bad if you walk Gonzalez, because all that does is put runners in the corners. So you're basically in the same situation you're already in right now. And that's where we're headed, 3-0. There's strike one. So this is a similar scenario we saw with Hammonds. Hammonds got way ahead in the count and then ended up striking out. 3-1. So Rafi's got to be careful here. But still feel the freedom to take a hack at it. And he will.
That was a great hit.
That is the RBI single for Rafi Gonzalez. You love to see that, Corbett, with a guy like Gonzalez.
He hit it exactly how I've been saying every time that I think I've come to do commentary for these is I've always said hit for contact and hit the gaps. You don't need to swing for the fence every time. He did that perfectly right there, and now they have the lead.
So Gonzalez comes in at second base and gives CIU the 6-5 advantage here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Although he doesn't have any yet on the season, Rafi knows how to run the bases. He's a very fast runner, and wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get his first stolen base of the year. He's excited over there at first, at the very least.
2-0 against Maldonado. Bingham has certainly struggled to throw strikes in his time on the mound here in the 8th inning. That is hit to left field, and Gonzalez will round second all the way to third. And the stand-up double for Jan Maldonado puts Gonzalez at third with the opportunity to add more. This is what we talked about. Again, point offensively, pretty talented. So if you do add that one run to go ahead, need to add another to try to pad that lead if possible.
Yeah, having Ralphie at third and having Carter Willis all reliable at the plate at this point in the game is like the best scenario you could possibly ask for, especially when it's a do or die, get into the playoffs if you win this game type of deal that it is.
And another pitching change coming from Point, so we will introduce that new face in just a minute when we come back on the CIU Sports Network.
Oh. Okay. And taking the mound for Point And the top of the ninth is Jackson Knox, the sophomore. He has pitched 6.2 innings so far. He's given up 7 hits with an ERA of 9.45. This will be his 6th appearance on the season.
So that pitch fouled off as Knox trying to get things going for Point defensively after Wiggum struggled in that inning. Brief appearance there. As Willis hits one to right field, and that'll be another double. That brings in 1, 2, as that'll be, Willis will try to extend it out for the triple. Willis is tagged out, stretching it out to third, but not before 2 runs come in. So CIU goes up 8-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So CIU just 1 inning away from sending themselves to the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament. So very close to the goal of this series already in game 1, which of course is to qualify for the AAC tournament. We'll be back in just a minute here on the CIU Sports Network as Brett Collins tries to close things out. So Brett Collins will try to close out the Skyhawks here in the top of the 9th. Rams up 8-5. 2-0 count right now here against Smith.
Collins giving a little bit of a, ump taking one of the face mask. Collins giving a pretty good cushion here. He's got a real good opportunity to close this out and get the win.
And Collins, yes, would now get the win. That is fouled towards first base. And Maldonado able to make the catch over there by the tarp as one out now. And CIU with the opportunity to try and get this victory and send themselves to Kingsport. As Rush, excuse me, Bush, Jackson Bush, up now.
Taking a healthy hack at that one.
One out, 0-1. At just a little outside. And there's makes it 1-2. So good pitch there from Collins.
Bush is definitely swinging for the fences with these. But, I mean, a little bit of desperation mode just because this late in the game. But he's also, you know, the type of player who can get a solo shot if he wanted one.
That pitch low makes it 2-2. That is popped up. Gonzalez trying to get underneath it. And he does. That was nerve-wracking there for a minute as Gonzalez had to back way up into center field to make that catch. And so 1 out away from Kingsport for CIU as this will bring up Kevin Howard, the catcher. Pitch high.
Keep the nerves cool and keep that ball lower. That was a little high. I might have been a little excited on that one.
1-1. That pitch outside makes it 2-1. That hit to right field, so Howard will reach first. Garcia up now for point. Hernandez going to talk about it with Collins. So runner at first is Howard. Now Garcia will step back into the box. 2 outs. Runner at first. 0-1. There's the strike from Collins. That pitch bounces off the knees of Hernandez. 2-1. That not in there. Makes it 3-1. Strike from Collins. 3-2 now.
Full count.
Big pitch from Collins. Fouled off. Runner goes as that is fouled up, and Hernandez will have a chance at it, and he makes the catch. And CIU is headed to Kingsport with that win. So the Rams clinch a spot in the AAC tournament for the second consecutive year. That'll determine whether they're in the 10th or the 9th spot tomorrow, depending how they do against Point. So CIU headed to Kingsport. So big win for the Rams. Remember, tomorrow is Senior Hit Day, doubleheader starting at 12 p.m. We will have Senior Day recognition in between games. So around 2:30 after the first 9-inning game, and then game 2 will be 7 innings. So good win by CIU as they knock off Point 8-5 thanks to a bottom of the 8th surge that gives CIU the victory. We'll be back tomorrow. For now, so long from the CIU Sports Network.